Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Becky. Today we are going to be cutting up the papers and cardstock for the beach party card making workshop. Now you can see it did come with the instructions. This is from Close to My Heart. I will have that link down below if you'd like to pick it up as well. This has 4 projects, 4 cards with it, and you can make 4 of each style of card. So you get 16 cards. Oh no, yeah, 16 cards, 4 of 4 designs out of this card kit. So super cute. Here is one thing I want to say. I don't know what we're going to do to remedy this problem, but up front I can already tell. You see how we have all of those. Okay, let me interrupt myself. Here you see project 1, project 2, project 3. That's how I separated mine. And I'm showing you that one said project 1 on it. So I'm going to put it in this paper that says project 1. These are just pattern papers that came out of a paper pad that I had put in my purge pile. I pulled out 4 pieces of paper, folded them pattern side in, white side out, because they were from a paper pad, and wrote project numbers on them. That's how I got those little, basically folders to put the projects in. But anyways, the first thing I noticed when we did the first zip strip is for project 4D. It said 3 by 1/4 cut 4. We did that. This one is for project 3. It says 3, we need 8 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 1/4. Well, then there's another one for 2G. It says 3 1/4 by 1/4 to cut 3. Well, the problem is this card kit only came with 2 pattern papers, and therefore only 2 zip strips. So this is what I'm realizing right here. I'm like, okay, well, this isn't very cool. So I don't know how we're going to do the 2G. I haven't even looked at it, but there's plenty of leftover paper from this card kit that we could substitute something else. What was that for? That was for project 2. Yeah, it looks like it's just a little strip. We could put something else on there. It doesn't necessarily have to be that zip strip. So yeah, that was the one issue that I have ran across so far making this kit, or cutting these papers up. So we're going to go ahead and go on to the pattern paper. Now, with our instructions for Close to My Heart, there's a little printed piece underneath the cuts, and it says cut orientation, front and back has an asterisk by it. So that's how you know of the papers you're cutting. Like 1A has an asterisk by it, so you're going to be using the blue side of this paper. The other ones don't have an asterisk, so you're going to be using the green side of this paper. You're going to be using the front. So we're going to go ahead and cut this up. We do have one more piece of pattern paper. Like I said, this came with 2 pieces of pattern paper. So we do have one more piece of this same pattern paper that we are going to cut. Here are the ones that we're using the back side of. These are for project 1, and they're 1 1/4 width by 5 1/2 length. And then these ones are 1/2 inch by 5 1/2. Those are both going to be used with project 1. So we're going to go ahead and finish cutting this up. You can see you kind of can see the instructions over to the side where it's telling us how to cut. I know cutting videos are not very fun, and that's fine. If you don't like a cutting video, you don't have to watch a cutting video. I am gonna, when I make all these cards, I will have them all in their own beach party playlist. So you can skip it or not skip it. Who knows? I don't know how this video is gonna go. Who knows what I'll talk about? Surely it won't just be cutting. I have no idea. So we're on this second one, and here you can see we're cutting out the remaining pieces we need to make card number 1, and then we're going to cut out some pieces that are card number 4. You can see right here I'm making the vertical cuts first. And then I'll go ahead and go in and cut the horizontal cuts. Now, the reason I did it that way is I just wanted to try it that way. I was trying to see which way was easier. I know some people will actually double up their pattern papers, which wouldn't have been too great of an idea. But in this instance, like the one I'm cutting now and the one that's over on the left, some people would have stacked those on top of each other and cut them, which probably would work fine. I've been too chicken to try it, so because I just know I'm going to mess something up. So I haven't tried it yet, but I have seen some of the ladies at Close to My Heart, when Close to My Heart does their videos, I have seen some of the ladies there do that, and it works fine. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this one up. This is, of course, going to go with our very first project, and this is going to go with our very first project as well. But on this piece, we're going to be using the opposite side. And then we're going to be done cutting up the pattern papers. Now, I did go ahead and do project number 1 already. That will be the next video you see from me, probably, possibly even later today. We'll see if I get that done. But I made some errors. I made some errors cutting these. Now, not the whole page, but the very last column on this that I'm reading right here. It's very, very small print, by the way, and there's little lines that go to what is what. And yeah, it's not confusing per se, but it was just hard for me to see. Once I could see and figure out what went with what, then it was easier. Anyways, over here, okay, so we have to cut some for 3F, and 3F is 1 3/4 by 2. And then a couple columns down from there, there's we have to cut 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. I cut that 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So I've got some mess up on this Sundance cardstock as well. So I don't know if I'm going to have to come up with different alteration for another project as we're working on it, because I've messed up this Sundance color cardstock. Just because I had read 1 3/4 on this other one, when it printed for the 1 3/8, it printed smaller, so I had to take a closer look at it, but I just thought it said the same thing, 1 3/4. I didn't look very close, and it's really 1 3/8, which was an easy fix for that project because I just had to trim it down, right? But it caused some cutting issues on some of the other pieces of this Sundance. Let's go ahead and skip forward. So if you guys are wanting to play along with me, you can go ahead and these videos are going to stay up here, you know, obviously on my channel, but you can go ahead and hop over to beckybidding.closetomyheart.com and pick up your own beach party card making workshop. There are extra things that you do need for this workshop. It's saying, okay, so you need the workshop kit. The other materials needed Sundance exclusive inks. I had that. Intense black exclusive inks stamp pad. Now, I actually, Close to My Heart doesn't carry this, but I actually prefer VersaFine pigment ink that's an onyx black. I love that stuff. That's what I used for my black. And, you know, maybe it's not a good idea. I have no idea. I just love it. So then also the coral tri-blend marker, light green tri-blend marker, true blue tri-blend marker, and then gold yellow. Now, I didn't have the gold yellow, so I just went ahead and pulled out light yellow blend because that's the one I had. Now, what I'm saying to you is that if you have different markers, like maybe you have Copics, you can use those. You don't have to buy the tri-blends. You could use, you know, a different marker if you want to still play along and you don't have the stuff. Then it says you need a black journaling pen, 3D foam tape, because we're going to pop up some things, some glue dots, micro dots. That's not really super necessary. The reason it's asking for glue dots as a supply is because Close to My Heart traditionally puts down the sequins with glue dots. Some people use liquid adhesive. I like to use art glitter glue. You know, I did use the glue dots though for this very first card I made. Then you also need to have a die cutting and embossing machine, because This does come with stamp and thin cuts, so there is going to be something you have to dye, and then of course you need your acrylic blocks, paper trimmer, scissors, adhesive ruler, washi, you know, whatever it is you usually use. You do need those as well. So if you want to play along, you can go ahead and hop over there and pick yourself up this card kit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish cutting this now. On the blue, you can see it over in the right-hand side. Look how many cuts there are to that. Oh my goodness, yes. This is one I really had to pay very close attention to. And it's kind of funny because I know when I was cutting the white, John came in and started talking to me, and I'm like, no, sir. There will be none of this because I just totally messed up. So I don't know if you guys are the same way. I need to concentrate when I'm making all these cuts. Concentration or focus and organization are the key for me when it comes to doing these workshop kits. Like, I need some way to separate all my projects. And that way I just did it, where I folded up those pattern papers that were out of A Simple Stories, what is it? Paper pad that I just purged, right? It's still sitting here. I haven't put it in the mail to anybody yet or given it to anybody yet. I went ahead and just folded those in half, so it worked out pretty good. And I think that's going to be a good way to have separation with projects. When we get done with all 4 projects, I'll let you know if that really did work out or not. So on this red cardstock, the first cuts we made, those are going to be cut into a tag shape, so that's going to be a lot of fun to do. And then we're just going to cut this last piece. Did you see that whole piece of red that I just moved up to the top right? That is all extra. That is all left over. So again, there is options for that piece that I didn't have an extra zip strip for, right? I'm thinking that maybe we could take that green. What color is it that goes with this, guys? I don't remember. We could take that green when I figure out what that green color is, and we can just take a piece of white 1/2 inch strip and stamp something on it if we want to. We could put it in the green and color the whole thing green. There's a lot of different things that we can do to fix that we don't have that piece. We'll look at that in project number 2, though. That's going to be interesting to see what we do. Okay, so we're on to the white, and white is the very last that we're going to be doing. This white has got a lot of smaller bit. Well, not a lot. It's got 2 smaller bits. They're like 2 by 1/2. That's a little bit of a pain in the tuchus. But the last piece of white that we're going to cut is going to have just a few cuts for the cards, but they're also going to have the stamp and thin cuts on it as well. Okay, so we're going to fast forward just a little bit. We just fast forwarded just a little bit. Now you see the instructions, how those last 2 strips, they just have blue outlines on it. It's telling us we need to thin cut that. Now this is where, depending on how you like to do it, you would do it differently than I do. I like to do my thin cutting and then stamp. Some people like to stamp and then put the thin cut over it. If you're one of the people that likes to stamp first and then use the thin cut, then this is probably the step in the process that you would do that. So it's calling for us to cut all of them 4 times, and then also it's calling for us to cut that little popsicle 4 extra times, because apparently on one of the cards we're having 2 popsicles. I think that is going to be project number 2, which I haven't done yet, and I'm really excited. So yes, it is going to be project number 2, so I'm really excited about that one. All right, guys, I don't think you really need to see everything get die cut here. I'm just only die cutting. I'm not stamping on these ones. I will stamp when I actually make the cards. So we'll go ahead and finish up here. I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you do want to play along with this card kit, you can go over to BeckyBitty.closetomheart.com and pick it up. I think it's like $35 or something. It's not really all that expensive, and you get 16 cards out of it, so that's pretty good, and it's a lot of fun making it. I've only made the first card so far, But when we go into that video, I will tell you everything I loved about it, because there's so many things on there that was so fun. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Please check the links down below, and I'll see you next time, possibly later on today. Bye, guys.